My biggest pet peeve. Laziness. I hate people who waste time and people who aren't prepared. And I'm not just talking about a work context. I think I've got a good nose for when people are just kind of winging it. And I don't like that. I'll like mark their copybook in my head. And unless something needs to be said, like I'm not going around like the police of policing laziness in society. Yeah, if I ever do this again, I'll really dial up my policing of lazy citizens of the world.
At the same time I'm teaching, I'm remembering everything at the same time. It keeps me on my toes. I do it because I work with a lot of bad actors. If you're an actor and you're in the audience right now, I hope you're studying, and I hope you're not lazy, and I hope you're reaching every time to do the best work you can. You should be going to museums, studying art. You should never, ever not thinking of the arts. If you're working in a bar, you should be in museums more than that bar. I mean, I meet these, I cannot believe people end up on a set. I can't believe it. I'm shocked. I have no idea why they're there. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Guys and girls, I'm just totally in shock about it. And then every once in a while, you'll meet like a guy or a girl or a young man or a young woman who's like amazing. And I say, where do you study? And they all, have been studying constantly for years. And their whole lives are consumed by the arts, and there needs to be more. And there's so much opportunity out there for you young people, and not just young people, but older people too. If you're in your 30s or 40s or 50s or 60s, wherever you are, if you're just starting acting, there's a lot of room out there for actors. You can steal parts like that. There is so much crap out there right now that if you have any talent and know how to execute it, you have a chance at working in theater and in film. Because they are blindly walking kids through performances. Giving them line reading, speaking to them while they're acting. It's mind-boggling. It's like there's other jobs that they could be doing. I mean, there's so much nonsense going on out there that when I'm on a film or I run into a good actor who's young, and I can't believe it. I'm shocked at how good they are. I'm so happy that they're alive and that they're doing what they're doing. What I do is I go back to my roots and I teach what I was taught, and I'm completely committed to it, and I go through I don't pretend like I know it all when it comes to acting. I go through a period of time with my students, and we slowly and surely I turn them slowly into artists without thinking that I know and I'm the one that has the ultimate wisdom when it comes to acting. And for sure I don't. But what I do teach them is that failure is everything, and that you really have to put yourself out there. You really have to study. You really have to do research. You really have to know what's going on. And I'm being kind of wishy-washy and vague about it, because there's a whole technique of acting called method acting that I teach. But I'm not going to sit here in front of you and explain that to you, because that would take 6 hours to do. And that's how long our classes are. They're 6 hours apiece. And they're very intense. And that's why I do it. I do it because to have more, actors out there that know how to act and know how to act like in the real way they're supposed to. The only thing that separates me from any actor, young actor in the audience right now, is experience. I don't know a secret. There's no mysterious thing or secret thing that I know that makes me successful. The only thing, again, that separates us is experience. I remember this one guy, I'll never forget him. I won't say his name, but I still remember his name. And I remember thinking to myself, you know, I could never do that. I'm not as good as him, you know. But if I studied, I bet I could be better than him. I bet I could figure it out better than he's figured it out. And that's when I remember that exact moment when that happened. And my sister and I then decided to seek out the best teacher. We really wanted to find a system of acting, something that we could follow, something that we could actually, that was written out, that would make sense. You know, not that, because my sister Beth and I, we never really thought of it as something you kind of wing, because anybody that we'd ever met that winged it was really bad at acting. And so we figured that the best way to do it was to figure out, you know, who had created the best system of acting. The idea of telling story is just so much fun. It's really basically story. And you become addicted to the telling of it and how to execute the telling of it in a way that people would not expect. And I read the scripts that I know that I'm going to be involved with. I read them a lot. I read them over and over. In fact, I don't stop reading scripts that I do until the last day of shooting or I'm continuously reading the script over and over and over again. It was my responsibility. It was my total responsibility to bring in a character and be ready to do it and ready to do anything the director asked. If the director needed me to do it faster, then I would do it faster. I mean, it's always about the work, yeah. I mean, absolutely, always about the work. It always has been. It's why I can come out here and not feel like a fraud. It's why I can walk out on stage every night and not have butterflies. It's why I can juggle many different things when the cameras roll. I can, you know, if you think about it in terms of juggling, I can juggle an accent, a reaction, action, posture, voice. I can juggle 5 or 6 balls while the cameras roll. I'm completely committed to the work, and I'm never nervous about it. And because that's where my mind is, that's where my commitment is. That's the thing. You can't lose. Failure is everything. I mean, you got to go all the way every time, and accept that failure is always an option. Always. You know, when you're in this business for a long time, as you guys know, if any of you have been in the business for a long time, there's such a warmth between legitimate actors, people that are not jerks, and that, because there's a few of them too, but the ones that aren't, and the ones that have met under the best circumstances, where everybody's a committed actor and everybody's a legitimate actor, there's such a camaraderie, such a warmth. When it comes to artists, we all have one thing in common, and that is that we want to execute our art, and we want it to be received. And if it hasn't been received yet, we have no examples of that, of what it's like for the execution of my art to be received. So we try, our natural instinct is then to emulate others, to be like other artists. It's a natural instinct. It's not something that, it's the most intelligent people try to do it. That's not the correct way to go. The correct thing to do is to trust that eventually what comes from you, not what comes from you trying to be somebody else or something else, but what comes from you eventually will be received. And that because it's coming from you and it's not anything else or anybody else, it will be received in a completely original way. And you will be remembered because of your uniqueness. You're uniquely you and not anybody else. So to all you actors out there, remember that the key is always comes from yourself. Never pretend. Never try to emulate other performances. Always remember that. You are you. You put yourself in the circumstance of the character. You never pretend to be the character, ever. You put things on top of that, physical things, voices, but it's always coming from you. And that will shine the most bright. Because when you go into an audition, if you're not trying to emulate somebody else, you will be remembered. If you are totally you, you will be remembered. It doesn't matter if you go up on your dialogue, if you don't do the scene correctly. If there is one moment in your performance where you are totally you and get the story correctly, you will be remembered. And every unique artist in our lives, one does not remind you of the other one. There's a reason for that, because of what I just said.
We are, a prism of different kinds of characters, and we have the capacity within ourselves to understand a whole variety of characters. And you don't try to pretend to be someone else, but you find it within yourself.
Every single character an actor takes on, they need to treat that person as if they were real, in order to feel the correct amount of responsibility for their existence, because your job is to create a real, live, breathing, full, rich, multifaceted, convoluted, complex person, and that's very difficult to do if you don't care about that person.
Try to see always the difference between you and him, then and now. Try all through the play to begin to say, how can this open up to me? One of the things I'd like you to do is to say, and honestly, you can't do without it, if you don't know the landscape, you can't act. You must know not your landscape. The entire landscape is different than any concept that you could probably have. And so look up a lot of, go somewhere and say, let me find out, let me look at pictures. So you will get some idea for yourself where these people live. Now remember, in the play, if you understand that the landscape is always used by the author, just the actors have never been told that. It's always used. O'Neill uses the landscape so you can't move without it. Chekhov uses the landscape so that you can't move without it. Ibsen uses the landscape, and in every play it plays an important part. So you must do some homework on that and come back and say how different Norway is to my own experience, so that you will never really be so tell me something. You will say, my God, I know how to behave. You will have to understand Mr. O'Neill's sense of inland, like you will have to understand Ibsen's sense of rain, of water. And you will be able to say the differences in the character, the difference between a little bit the men in the play and the women in the play. So we'll work a lot on landscape and on open up the play more, and thank you very much.
Working in the theatre really exercises your kind of acting muscles. That sounds really teachery, but it really, really helps you get kind of quick and direct in finding out what characters are like. And because on films you really don't have the time, and as I was saying earlier, you have to really find very quickly within, you do 5 takes, and each take should be, I like to do things differently. In fact, it's not that I like to do things differently, I am incapable of doing anything the same way twice, which creates a bit of a problem sometimes, because some directors don't like it, they want exactly the same thing, and I can't really do that. So warning to all directors, if you want the same thing twice, don't hire me.
As an actor, there's a lot of control that we lose, and we immediately don't have the moment you start a project. You can do the best, you can give the best of yourself, and have done the most amazing research, and then the director takes it into an editing room for 9 months with his editor, and it might be a completely different thing. So if you think about it that way, the actor is the one element in a project that has the least amount of power.
Isn't that interesting how life is? Like, you don't know what's going to happen, really. You make some choices, and that choice leads you to something that you hadn't expected. It's not always good. Sometimes it's, riddled with problems, but you just never know. It makes life exciting. I was looking at how many films I've been in, and I thought, well, that's really strange. I've been in like 69 movies. When you fantasize and you play a part, you put yourself in this situation emotionally, and then when you see it, you see, oh, that's me again. I don't think about them. I don't look back and go, oh, gee, yeah, that was rough. That was a pleasure. But I've had a lot of good fortune. Good luck. Good luck. Some of it's luck. I've had too much good luck. So it's like, it's not, I feel like everybody else, but I think that I've had a lot of good fortune, which makes it different. You just don't know when you go down one path what that's going to lead to. And that takes courage too, in a way, even if it's a misbegotten idea. I'm energetic. I have a lot of hobbies and a lot of things I like to do in a day. Yeah, I have a lot of energy. I do. I got lucky with that. I just like to be busy. I think like life, things have to change. And if you're somebody who doesn't think it's supposed to change, goodbye, see you later, pal. It's interesting what's going on now. There's much more product, and there's certainly new ways in how you direct, and visuals are different, and yeah, you expect that, you want that.
When you get a chance to feel really emotional in something, it's very cathartic. Or you get to be angry, it's great. It's all those emotions that you're not allowed to show in real life. You've got to be sort of in check, and it's beautiful to be able to let rip. So I like if I can move people or make people laugh or anything. It's a joy, and I don't know. I really love it, and I hope I get to do more of it.
If two people love each other, a fight can be hilarious. And I got into a fight with my husband that while it was going on, I knew it was ludicrous. It was so funny, but I didn't stop doing what I was doing. You see? Now, what is the fun in fighting, if there is such a thing, is the enjoyment of one-upmanship. Now, I think if you look for that, you're going to find so many variations in this. What have you used before as a weapon? When does it work? When does it fail? When are you hit by it? So you need to find another one to top him with or to best him with. Do you follow? And I think if you look for that, you're going to have a field day. Okay? All right. Very good. Thank you.
Good comedy on a good script, and let's say you've been fortunate and been sent a good script with a good part, it's very seldom that the guy is zany and thinks that he's funny. That's one thing, if you're supposed to think you're funny. But the minute an audience thinks that you think you're funny, you're dead.
If you're going to be in this business, or you're going to be anything, you have to see yourself the long term. I saw myself as a forest ranger, and I planted myself as a small tree, and I wanted that tree to grow for 75 years. I didn't want to be a flash in the pan. You have to really, acting is an art form that is 5,000 years old. And there are rules, and there are techniques, and there are nuances to making it really an experience that is nourishing for you and nourishing for the audience. Not just good looking and a smile. You have to need to act, because it is such a difficult profession, and there are so many who are called and so few who are chosen, that you have got to need it at your very center. You've got to need to do it. You have to need to know how to do it. And you have to know what it is to act as an ensemble. So that's what I would say to the actor. And don't buy your press. Don't listen to your press. So you must have passion, and you must tell stories that really illuminate the human condition. That's our job.